So I'm doing some work at home today on the veggie garden. I want to get my tomatoes planted, and I've been making some of these tomato cages, and these are 5 feet tall. It's made out of concrete reinforcement mesh. I think they call it remesh, and it comes in rolls, and you can get like 50 feet for about $50, and they're way stronger than any of those tomato cages you buy at the home center, but you got to make them. So of course I already cut them without thinking that I would share this, but basically what I did was I rolled it out here in the lawn and used a couple of these stakes just stuck in the ground to kind of hold one side and put the roll down the yard, and then held it down over there with something else, weighted it down, and then went through here and just with my grinder and just zipped along the edge. These squares are 6 inches each, 6 by 6, and so I counted out 9 squares, and 6 times 9 is 54, divided by pi gives you the what is it called, the diameter. And so that's like, that's this distance here across. So it's about it works out to like 17 inches in diameter across. So if you wanted to make it bigger, you just got to do some math and figure it out. It's not too hard. Even I can mess up explaining it. So then what I do is I got a pair of lineman's pliers here. I take them here. Usually I step on it, but I don't think I can do this one-handed. I use 2 hands because that's the way to do it. So I'm gonna set up a tripod and show you how I just put these together real quick while the garbage man finishes up outside, out front. Alright, so I'll show you how I bend one of these. I got a pair of lineman's pliers. They've got a nice tapered nose to them. So I just grab it here somewhere near the end, try and step on it a little bit to hold it, and then lift up and kind of curl it. You don't really want to crimp it if you can. It just makes it a little stronger if you can put a nice curl to it. It's alright. I'll do another one. Just kind of curl it around, and then what's going to happen is you're going to hook these on here like so, and then just kind of crimp it down there like that, and that kind of holds it together. And that's the idea. So what I do is I go through and I try and bend a hook, more curved than crimped. Bend a hook on each one of these pieces, and then I hook it together with the other side, and then just kind of bend it a little bit more to lock it down. And then it seems to stay pretty well. So I'll go ahead and do that. This one, and that's about it. Looks pretty good. And the other thing I do is just I turn it over and push it a little bit so it rounds it out. Nice thing about these rolls is it's already kind of preformed to circle up pretty nice. So there's one done. Tomato tower. Just a word of caution before you go out and try this yourself. If you're going to use a grinder, you really need to use eye protection. Last year I was using these, cutting some cattle panels, which are similar, and somehow I caught a metal splinter in my eye, which resulted in a costly trip to the ER and a procedure that was pretty uncomfortable, as the doctor scraped my eyeball with something called a burr, I think it was called. It's like a needle that they scrape against your eyeball to try and catch the edge of the metal splinter that can get stuck in your eye. So long story short, trying to use some kind of goggles, something that's going to wrap around and really cover your eyes, because you don't want that to happen. All right, another option is you can find, bolt cutters, or these pliers even have like a cutting function. It just takes a lot longer to cut them by hand than with a grinder. So I'm making 10 of these today to go back in my veggie garden. It's a bit of a mess back here. I got a lot of work to do. There's a big pile of soil that I excavated from the back here, garden. I dug this down about 2 feet, put in some drainage and gravel to deal with any water that might come up. So here's a couple of finished panels. They're going to go about there. And the tomatoes I grow get pretty tall. They get about 6-7 feet. So I'm hoping they get that big this year. And with some water and some sun, it should happen. So, all right, I'm gonna get back to it. So let's go take a look at the finished cages, towers I like to call them. Here they are. We've got, I think, a roll of 50 feet makes about, 10 or 11. I had used some of them previously, some of the material. And so this is, I made 9 cages. I put 8 of them up, because that's about the space I had. And the one thing I did was I had to find a way to keep them from falling down. So I put in 3 stakes, drove them down into the ground, and tied them up with 2 lines across, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then I tied them together as well. So they're pretty stable. I think sometimes this line stretches a little bit, but I think that'll keep the plants from falling down, certainly, and from blowing around too much in the wind, which we get some wind back here. So those are the finished towers. The one thing I have to do is, as the plants grow up, I haven't put anything in yet, I'll just have to guide the branches to grow up through these squares, and so they can keep upright and the fruits can hang down. And I'll also prune the bottom branches off the tomatoes to keep it airy at the bottom. I'll probably plant some other things at the base as well, because I have very limited space, and just try and keep it neat and tidy. So there you go. Anybody can do this if you are so inclined. You just need a couple tools. The grinder is optional. You can cut these wires with sturdy pliers or bolt cutters or whatever you got, and they're way better than whatever you can get at the home store. Those tomato cages they sell are very overpriced, I believe, and not as sturdy, not as functional. So this is a good option. Hope you enjoyed.